Let's get to cell phones and privacy now. According to a new government report, law enforcement agencies across the country asked the major U.S. cell phone carriers to turn over everything from wiretaps, even text messages, and the exact locations where folks use their phones. And it's been happening more than anybody might have thought, more than 1 million times last year alone. The companies include AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon, all the familiar ones. Some of them report a 15% jump in this sort of data request compared to 2010. And in some cases, investigators asked for a so-called data dump, information on particularly just about every kind of user in a specific cell phone tower, even if some of those folks were not suspects in a crime at all. The chief Fox Sports correspondent Jonathan Hunt is back in New York City with more on the privacy rights and how activists are raising some serious red flags here. Jonathan?
Yeah, everybody's very concerned, Shep, simply because the number of requests is growing so fast, 15% more in 2011 than in 2010. According to Congressman Ed Markey, who looked for this information and asked the wireless carriers for it, there was something like 3,561 requests from law enforcement every single day of 2011. That's something like 148 requests every single hour of every single day. And according to Congressman Markey, quote, "We cannot allow privacy protections to be swept aside with the sweeping nature of these information requests, especially for innocent consumers. Law enforcement agencies are looking for a needle, but what are they doing with the haystack?" And that is a question that pretty much anybody who uses any sort of mobile device might want answered right now, Shep.
But law enforcement agents, as they almost always do, are going on the side of how vital all of this is, rather than anybody's privacy concern.
Yeah, what they point out, law enforcement officials, is that pretty much at every single crime scene in this modern world in which we now live, there is some sort of mobile device. So following the records of that mobile device can be an important tool in helping them solve a crime. As for the wireless companies, they say they take privacy very seriously. They hand over information only when they are required to do so by law. But some of them do point out that location information is an important area here, and just these data dumps from any cell phone tower that they get is an area that, according to some of the companies does need to be looked at by Congress, and there needs to be clarification on the law. Shep.
Jonathan Hunt in New York City. Jonathan, thanks. Let's take this to our legal team, why don't we? Former prosecutor and Fox News legal analyst Arthur Aidala is with us back in Studio B, as is the criminal defense attorney Randy Zellin. Arthur, you know, every day it seems like, I don't know if it's the case, but it seems like more and more of our privacy concerns are overlooked on the side of law enforcement and other agencies that want to try to make us all safer. But there is a point of diminishing returns on this matter, and you wonder if we've reached it.
Oh, you couldn't be more right, Shepard. This country was founded, a fundamental principle of this nation was that the government, well, the military men working for the government couldn't just come in and kick in your front doors and go through your underwear drawers and look for whatever they were looking for. That was one of the reasons why we went to the Revolutionary War. That and taxes, or basically the whole thing is your individual freedoms and your individual privacies, and they are eroding by the minute. Shepard, AT&T gets 700 requests a day for this information. 230 are emergencies. They say they don't need a warrant, they don't need anything because it's an emergency. 230 a day. What does that mean? Every state in the union has a major emergency that they need it immediately. It's just a way to bypass the law, and that's wrong.
It makes it easier, too, Randy, but sometimes easier is not better when, as Arthur put it, we're founded on privacy.
Yes, but the challenge here is simply that we're not back in Revolutionary War times where you could kill one person with a single-shot musket and it took 1 million years to get a piece of mail anywhere. We live in a time where at any given moment, this country can be put in jeopardy. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. If you have anything, cell phones are such a critical way to get evidence to stop something before it happens. Here, the ends justify the means. It's all in the name of protecting us.
Do you believe anything you just said, Randy?
Absolutely.
Shepard,
Okay.
there's a system for this. A
Go
judge
ahead.
is
I'm
supposed
out
to
of
make
time,
these
but Arthur,
decisions.
you give me 10 seconds.
A judge is supposed to, the law enforcement is supposed to go to a judge, say, Judge, this is why we need these records for these reasons, and the judge says yes or no.
And in that time, somebody gets blown up.
Oh, that's so old school on both of your parts. Forget the way the country's supposed to work. Let's change all the rules. Gentlemen, it's great to see you both. Thank you.